Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Now to news from education. Two private institutions returning to face-to-face learning today on Grand Bahama. The Bishop Michael Eldon School welcoming hundreds of students for the first time since mid-December. Principal Sophia Houghton says the decision to continue virtual learning up until this point was out of an abundance of caution.
We know that over the Christmas holidays there would have been many activities, many social gatherings, and also many people would have traveled. So out of an abundance of caution, the decision was made to remain virtual to allow a certain period to pass. An arrival and dismissal procedure in which parents are not allowed to come to the children's classroom area. They drop the children off. The children then proceed to a temperature check desk where their temperatures are measured and they are registered on the school register. They then proceed to their homeroom. There are no gatherings on campus of students. They remain in their homeroom supervised by their homeroom teachers.
Over at Grand Bahama Academy, the situation was the same. Principal Jeffrey Jervis says it was an additional safety precaution for the school.
We realize that some of them do have compromised health, and we do realize that some of them have parents and family members at home as well. If they expressed this to us, that they're concerned about coming back, and so we want to ensure that the numbers were not high, were down, pretty much respectable, and we felt this was the right time to allow students to come back on campus. Thanks to our safety protocol and the things we have in place, it ensures a smooth transition from virtual learning to face-to-face. We have designated gates for students to come through. Again, they're not allowed to come through unless they have a mask on, as well as having the proper school attire, along with the temperature check.
The ICAN Community School extending a special invitation to parents as the world continues to battle the COVID-19 virus and its impact on learning institutions. This institution is trying to make a difference in its own special way. Jay Philippe explains.
The ICAN Community School, located at the Kevin G. Tomlinson Academy on East Sunrise Highway, is a tuition-free school that currently has 17 students enrolled. The students attend school from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., similar to public schools throughout the country, with trained staff and guided course syllabus for students ages 4 through 16. Kevin Tomlinson, director of ICAN Community School, says the idea of formulating the school originally started after Hurricane Dorian, when students throughout the island were waiting to get back into the classroom.
What we did here, we actually opened up our building to have a community school to allow kids in the community to come, and we had about 90 kids a day for 6 weeks, and that worked us, and there was no cost to it. We just brought the kids in and we worked with them. We had some teachers who volunteered and everything, and from then it sowed the seed for the idea of a community school.
Tomlinson says after the pandemic kept thousands of students away from the classroom, that is when he decided to seek an alternative way to have students back in a comfortable learning environment where parents would not be concerned with safety protocols such as social distancing.
I went to the Ministry of Education and spoke with the district superintendent, and I said, listen, I have this idea. And he said, well, Tomlinson, let's see what you can do. Create this extended classroom in line with what the minister was talking about. That went through several changes because the minister changed their mind so they went face to face. So I said, I went back and I said, hey, this is change now, I have to adjust. So each time the changes were made, I adjusted the change. But I was advised, you know what, Tomlinson, go ahead and do what you got to do.
Tomlinson says the school's enrollment continues to grow.
When I see the impact it's having, we've had such good reports from parents who are saying, I've seen changes in my child. I don't want my child to go back. I want my child to stay. And, that's the real seller. You can have nice buildings, you can have nice uniforms, you can have all these wonderful stuff. But if you don't have a program that impacts and changes, you have nothing. And so that's what we saw. And so we decided to go ahead. And we have a wonderful staff of teachers guided by a senior teacher, Ms. Kale McIntosh. And it's like, they are committed and devoted. They fell in love with what they're doing.
Tomlinson says his goal is to eventually build a fully functional school that includes all subject areas that are in public and private schools on island. He is also making a plea to the Grand Bahama community for assistance.
Anything you can do to support us, please don't hesitate to stop by the school. I am always here. Anyone in Freeport can tell you I am always here. And so you can stop in. We're trying to get our kitchen together. So if anybody got a stove or something that they ain't using that's sitting up, or someone, or you want to donate a stove, bring it. It's going to help with our lunch program and so forth. Anything that people feel, if you have bookshelves that you ain't using, that just sitting up there, listen, bring the bookshelves to us.
I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
And now, on a sad note, the sports community is mourning the passing of a sports legend in swimming, Coach Bert Bell, who passed away on the weekend. Bell was known around the Grand Bahama community for his impact and mentorship through swimming with Freeport Aquatic Swim Club and the YMCA Swim Club. He has coached a number of local swimmers who have gone on to compete at the highest level of swimming for decades. The chairman of the Grand Bahama Sports Hall of Fame, Harold Williams, releasing a statement on the passing of Bert Bell. Williams says Bell was a dedicated educator and committed athletic coach. His induction was related to his local, national, and world-class achievements as a swim coach. His contribution shaped swim champions, and more importantly, he molded university graduates and everyday good model citizens. He adds that Bell took pride in bringing out the best in young people, and discipline was his trademark. He was a community giant and will be missed. He says the organization mourns his death. They find solace in knowing that the Grand Bahama Sports Hall of Fame organization gave Bert Bell his deserved recognition while he was among the living. His great legacy will never die. Williams ending the statement by extending heartfelt condolences to his family, friends, colleagues, and the wider sports community. Former director of the YMCA and coach Terry Goldsmith also offering condolences on the passing of his friend, swim coach Bert Bell. Goldsmith says he was often mistaken for Bert Bell, a man whom he says was a great coach and one who wanted to see every swimmer advance to international standards. Goldsmith says Coach Bell was well loved and respected and will be greatly missed. Our Facebook friend of the day still to come.